Well, Director Emeritus of the Columbus Zoo, Jack Hanna, is on the phone now to talk a little bit about this tragic situation. Jack, we now know that Disney has closed all of its resort beaches. What do you make of that move and also just this terrible tragedy?
Well, you know, I'm not an alligator expert, crocodile. I filmed them all over the world, the different species of crocs and stuff, and alligators. But, you know, I got an aerial of this place just now of how massive this lake, or whatever it's called, is. And I just will say this, that gators, you know, I'm not, because I'm defending it, I can't blame Disney, only because gators can migrate into places. It's amazing how they can travel to get to another place to find food. You know, I don't know the fact that, does somebody feed the gators? I don't know the answer to that question. Does somebody might have a hot dog and throw it into them? One of the major problems with gators is if people are caught feeding them, like for example, gators in neighborhoods in Florida and other states, gators are on golf courses. We've all seen this. And some ladies lost their life in Naples several years ago because my understanding is they were feeding the gators, and then one of them, I guess, went swimming at nighttime, and that's what happens. A gator is a prehistoric animal. Their brain's very small. The animal does hunt with vibrations. Some people say they can feel vibrations up to a mile underwater. Now, I don't know how the child was in the water or where he was in the water. I have no idea, other than ankle deep, someone said. But, you know, like you said, it's a terrible thing. I can't even imagine Disney being probably one of the safest parks, the safest place in the entire world to go to. I mean, this is just hard to believe, but, you know, it's a huge area is what I'm saying. I thought this might be a smaller little area, but as I looked at it, when a gator does attack, they can outrun a human being in the first 20 feet. I don't care how fast you are. The first 20 feet, that's the goal. Is 20 feet, you stay at least 40 to 50 feet from a gator because they on land, they're very, very fast for that brief time.
Jack, so we were very curious to understand what a company like Disney could do to protect people, given that there are millions of alligators in Florida, especially in that area. You know, when you go to the beach, if there, for example, are known to be predators in that beach, you get warning signs. Some beaches in Australia put up netting. Is there anything that can be done at some of these resorts or at a resort like this one to protect the public?
Well, they probably obviously will look into all this, what you're saying. I don't know how what the lake to lake. I have no idea. You know, Disney's as large as a county, so they probably have several of these lakes throughout the park. Beautiful lakes. I've been there, and I don't know how they travel back and forth. But yes, I guess they would obviously do the signage now, or remove all the alligators from all the lakes. I've seen people do that in subdivisions and places where they have the gators, and they're a fascinating animal to watch, no doubt about that. But the point is now you do have millions and millions of people visiting Disney, and I've seen that beach. It's a beautiful place. It's the safest place in the world, and I don't know, you know, how many gators in that lake. I have no idea, you know, what they are. The game and fish, I know something watches very close. Florida Game and Fish is some of the finest game and fish people in the world, and they know exactly what's going on. So they know, you know, the gators are there, and there can be a gator that can be an aggressive gator. I don't know if this was what that gator was classified as, or if they even knew the gator was in there. Obviously, there's gators in there, caught 4 or 5 already, but, you know, this is one of those freak, tragic accidents that have happened here, and, you know, my heart goes out to the family from the standpoint that I work with animals all the time. In Africa, for example, what I've seen with the crocodile do to people, in Malaysia, where I can't even tell you what I saw there, when villagers go down to wash their clothes in the water, which most of them do, that gator knows that's kind of happening, and they just sit out there with their little eyeballs above the water. You don't even see them, and they just then submerge like a submarine, and they go up there, and then it happens like a bullet. And I'm not going to tell the stories over the phone that I've seen. So it's like lightning.
Jack, you mentioned that, you know, in this area of the Disney Resort, they've already snagged 4 or 5 alligators searching for the alligator involved in this incident. And when I heard that, I was frankly surprised that we had not heard of something like this happening before. But typically, alligators don't go after people. We're not their diet choice, so to speak, right? And typically, I don't want these animals to be demonized. Really, this is really an odd thing to happen.
Yeah, exactly. What you just said is very well put. You know, I'm pleased to hear that someone. That's why, you know, CBS. What I'm saying is, I'm really pleased to hear somebody at least say that. I've just got through with the gorilla thing. You know, but it's nice to hear someone that has rationale enough to know that Disney is one of the safest places in the world. And you're right. Walt Disney. I mean, I model a lot of what I do after that man. And you know, this is, like you said, it's a freakish thing. You're right. They don't necessarily go out and hunt humans. You're correct about saying that. I mean, I've seen researchers, when I've been with them looking at gators, inside their tummies could be a tin can, a piece of rubber tire. I've seen this with my own eyes. The gator is an animal, once, you know, that vibration can be felt just like it's incredible what they feel underwater. And even on land, when they look like they're sleeping, the golfer wants to hit his golf ball closer. I've seen them try and get real close. Don't do that. I just said they can outrun anybody in 20 feet. I don't care who you are, how fast you are. So it's an animal that, as you said, is an animal that really is a opportunistic animal from the standpoint that he's not just out there hunting human beings, as you said. Let's put it that way.
Jack Hanna, thank you so much for your insight, sir. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you all.